It was a Saturday night. My my mom and my brothers went to go to the movie theater, like I told about the movie theater stories. And my dad had to go work. And I had to be home alone, and it was kind of weird because I needed to be babysitted, of course, because I was only 10 I was about I was only about 8 years old at this time. And I don't really know why they left me alone. Like, what if some kind of stranger comes in? But they left me alone. They thought I was tough enough to be at home alone because I was they thought I was tough enough and stuff. And I decided to play video games all night and stuff. And I've been staying up really late. And then I started to hear weird noises coming from my window that is actually really close to me. I checked the window, but nothing was there, so I decided to go back and play video games. But then I heard the sound again about 3 minutes later. So I decided to just see what's out. I just opened the window to see what's out, but there was still nothing. Closed the window, and I went back playing video games. I thought this was gonna keep going for ages until my everybody came back home, but I don't know. I have no idea. But then it happened again, and I went to go check, and there was something at the window. It was a dark figure. I screamed to death so the neighbors could hear me and come next door to see. When when I shouted out help, I went to the next door neighbors. They told they told me what was wrong, and I told them that there was a figure standing at my window. So I went to show them my window where the figure was standing, and when we got there, it was gone. I know that wasn't that creepy, but that's all that happened. That's the only thing I remember to me. Something could have came into my house, and actually, that could have been the day I died. If I never shouted out to the neighbors and went to their house, something could have happened to me. It was a few years after the dark figure that was at my window. I was actually not as old enough to babysit still, because I was only 10. I can't say if I was actually old enough to babysit myself. But I was, I was 10 years old. I went home alone again. And the next door neighbor was actually kind of weird, because sometimes I actually look at the window next door to next door, and I actually see him. He always just stares at me mostly, and I felt like something weird could actually happen again at the second time I'm actually home alone again. So yeah, I don't really know. I can't really remember much of what my dad and my brothers and my mom were doing. So yeah, it was me home alone again, and I was really thinking that next door neighbors could have done something to me one day, and this was actually the day that my next door neighbors do actually do something. So I was usually mostly playing on my iPad. It was actually the lights were all on. I was actually not that scared. I was watching watching some YouTubers and stuff, and then I heard my doorbell ring. My heart nearly stopped as I saw a big man and walked at my window, and it actually looked like my next door neighbor. And I opened the door, and he was so tall that I couldn't even see his face. I told him, "What do you want?" And he said, "Do you want to come over to my house?" And I didn't want to, because I felt he was gonna do something, and I was too scared to say no or yes. So I decided to just close the door on him, and he just grabs the door and says, "Oh, come on, just one night." And I decided he doesn't want me to go to his house to hang out. He wants me to go to his house to sleep. I decided no. I was gonna try to just stay home and maybe hide and call my mom or call the cops. So I closed the door, and I quickly called the cops. He was watching me calling the cops, and he tried to ram the door open. I was crying like hell, and even though I said I was really tough, I was really tough boy being home alone, I was really scared that I was gonna die. I called my mom really quick, and I told her that my next door neighbor was trying to bust into the house, and she said she was so freaked out that she was so freaked out she really wanted herself to go home. I can't remember where she was, but she wanted to go home so bad, but she couldn't because she was really busy. So she decided for me to call the cops and go upstairs and hide. So I did. I called the cops and I told them that was about my next door neighbor was trying to kill me, and they told me they'll be there in about 9 minutes. So I hung up and hid upstairs to my room, under my bed, and then my next door neighbor broke into my house. I thought I was gonna die, like 100%. So yeah, and I was so scared. Everything in my body was shaking like heck, and I heard footsteps coming upstairs. I more felt like I was gonna die than 100%. And then I heard and then I heard police alarms going on. I was fake, but I thought they said they were coming in about 9 minutes, but they only took about 3 minutes. But then I saw legs coming into my room. I was scared because I was like, is he gonna run away? The cops are here. But he decided to just continue finding me, and I couldn't stop breathing. And he looked right under my bed, and he was right there. I was screaming to death, and the cops quickly came in, and they saw the man looking at me, trying to drag me out of the bed. They shot the man, and he was not dead. I was so scared out, but then happy because the cops finally made it in time. It was the most terrifying thing that ever happened to me, and I hope nothing like that happened again. And that man never. And after that, the man moved out and went to another neighborhood. And I hope he doesn't kill the next door neighbors. He next to him, his new neighbors.